When I first made this video, there was only about 7 states that confirmed if they're going to be doing this new unemployment benefit through FEMA. So basically the states apply for this and they get approved, and then they give you the extra $300 to $400 per week. But now there's actually over 28 states that came forward and told us if they're going to participate in this new unemployment benefit. So in this video, I figured I'd go over those states because I've been getting a lot of questions about specific states. So I'll go through all the states that have already replied and told us if they're going to do it or not. If you remember from the executive order, it was $300 per week from the FEMA program plus $100 per week from the states if they choose to do so. And 2 states are choosing to give you an extra $100 for a total of $400 per week. And there's also 2 states that just declined to do it altogether. And this is really surprising, especially considering one of them is a major state. So I'll go over those states, when you're going to get this unemployment benefit, how much you're going to get, and all of that information. But first, I wanted to go over some of the confusions and answer some of the questions that I received in my previous video. So the eligibility kind of confused a lot of people. There is 2 major eligibility for you to receive this $300 to $400 extra on top of your state's unemployment benefits. One of the eligibility requirements is your state actually has to apply to this through FEMA and get approved. And there's already some states that have already done that, and I'll go over that later. The other requirement is you have to make at least $100 per week in unemployment benefits through one of these programs. The Unemployment Compensation Program or the UCFE, Compensation for Ex-Service Members, UCX, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, PEUC, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, PUA, Extended Benefits, EB, STC, TRA, SEA. So if your state applied for unemployment benefit through FEMA, plus you're getting at least $100 per week or more through one of these unemployment insurance programs, then you're going to qualify for this extra $300 to $400 per week. Before I start going into the state-by-state breakdown, if you guys find this video helpful and you want to support this channel, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button. It does help out this channel a lot. If you do not see your state in this list, that does not mean that they've declined or they're not doing it. It just means that we don't know what they're doing yet. And I will put this link in the description, and it will be updated almost daily because this is from Forbes. So it'll get updated and you can check on it. I'll probably make a video just to go over major changes. So first, I want to go over the states that have declined to do this extra $300 to $400 per week. So when you see a little slash in the name next to the state, that means they've declined it. So far, South Dakota has declined to do this extended unemployment benefits. They're saying that their unemployment is not as bad as it used to be. It's gotten better. For that reason, they don't need this extra $300 to $400 per week for their resident. The other state that has declined to do this enhanced unemployment benefit through FEMA is New York. The governor of New York is saying that he does not trust FEMA and what they're doing is illegal. For that reason, he's not going to be participating in this enhanced unemployment benefits through FEMA. He doesn't really say if he's going to provide his residents with enhanced unemployment benefits that is provided through New York. He just said that he's not going to be participating through FEMA. So if you live in either South Dakota or New York, then most likely you're not going to see this enhanced unemployment benefits unless Congress comes out with unemployment benefit on their own. So now for the rest of the states, I'm going to just go from the top to the bottom. So Alabama is first, and they're saying their FEMA approved date is to be determined, but their benefit is going to be $300 per week, and their start date is to be determined, but they are going to be participating. Alaska is the same as Alabama. Arizona already got approved on the 15th, and their benefits started on the 17th, and it's going to be $300 per week. Arkansas is to be determined on their approval date, but it's going to be $300 per week, and it's going to be weeks away. So I assume once they get approved, it's going to be a couple weeks for you to get the benefit. Colorado is approved on the 16th. Benefit amount is to be determined, and it's going to start mid to late September. Idaho, their approval date is to be determined. It's going to be $300 per week, and also their benefit start date is also to be determined. Indiana is to be determined on their approval date. It's going to be $300 per week, and it's going to start mid to late September. Iowa is already approved on the 15th. It's going to be $300 per week, but their benefit start date is to be determined. Kentucky is to be determined on their approval date, but they are one of the few states that has decided to do $400 per week. So they are going to be fronting that extra 100 or that extra 25% for their residents. And it's going to start in early September. Louisiana, it already got approved on the 15th. It's going to be $300 per week, and it's going to start the week of August 24th. Maryland, my state, is still to be determined on their approval date, but it's going to be $300 per week, and the benefit start date is going to be late September. One thing I do want to remind you is most of these states are going to start doing these things retroactive. So it doesn't matter when your state applies and gets approved, you're still going to get the benefits starting August 1st for most of these states unless they specify. Massachusetts is also going to be to be determined on all fronts, so the amount, the approved date, and the benefit start date. Michigan is to be determined on their approval date and their benefit start date, but it's going to be $300 per week. Mississippi, still undecided. Missouri already got approved on the 16th, but their benefit start date and their amount is to be determined. Montana already got approved on the 18th, and they're the other state that's also giving you $400 per week, but their benefit start date is to be determined. New Hampshire is to be determined on their benefit start date and also their approval date, but it's going to be $300 per week. New Mexico already got approved on the 15th, but their amount and their benefit start date is to be determined. New York already said that they've declined. North Carolina is to be determined, and they're also another state that's going to be giving you $400 per week, but their benefit start date is to be determined. Ohio is to be determined on their benefit start date and also their approval date, but it's going to be $300 per week. Oklahoma already got approved on the 18th. It's going to be $300 per week, and their benefit start date is to be determined. Oregon is still undecided. Pennsylvania is to be determined on their benefit start date and also their approval date, but they are going to be $300 per week. South Dakota has already declined it. Tennessee is to be determined on their benefit start date and also their approval date, but it will be $300 per week. Utah already got approved on the 16th. It's going to be $300 per week, and it's going to be approximately 3 weeks for your benefits to start. Lastly, we have West Virginia, which is to be determined on their benefit start date and also their approval date. But this is the last state that has said they're going to be doing the $400 per week. Again, as I mentioned earlier, just because you don't see your state on here, it does not mean that you're not going to be getting $300 or $400 per week. It just means we don't really know that much about it. And I will be putting this in the description as well as in the comments, so you can come into it and refresh this as often as you want. They are updating this daily. And if you guys would like for me to make a video when there are major updates, I will do that as well. And if there are minor updates, I'll just make comments for you guys to see. If you guys enjoyed this video, it would really help out this channel if you hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe, you can do that right over here. I'll see you guys next time.